All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Krohn. I'm the chairman of the Michigan Wheat Program and a grower from Elkton, Michigan. Thanks, everyone, for attending today. We are planning to have over 250 guests here today, but the weather may hold that back just a little bit. If you've not done so yet, please pick up your name tags. We used your pick-up name tags to check in for those that pre-registered. If there's a slip with your name tag, please complete that information and turn it in at the registration table. If your name tag is not picked up, we assume you did not attend. This is important as we look at our final count, but it also as we turn in the paperwork for our RUP credits. Also, at one of the breaks, please check out the board by the registration to make sure your RUP information is correct and that you are on the list. If you're not on the list, there's another sheet that you can sign up to receive 5 RUP credits. There's also a CCA form where you can either scan for credits or sign up. It's also by the registration table. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Dennis for a special presentation.
All right, I'll get the microphone turned on so you can actually hear me. Sorry about that. So good morning. That's a little better. All right. So one of the things I wanted to do is do a kind of a special presentation before we kick off the agenda here a little bit. So I don't know if you all are aware, but Paul Horny has been the farm manager here at the Saginaw Valley Research and Extension Center. And I believe you've got about 42 years in on this job. Does that sound about right? Yeah, so he's not counting anymore. So I've got some numbers. I've done a little bit of counting for him. So if he started 42 years ago, that would make it 1980, okay? In 1980, the U.S. defeated the Soviet Union in the ice hockey in what was labeled the Miracle on Ice. Mount St. Helens erupted in May in Washington, killing 57. The Iran-Iraq war began in September of that year. The CNN, the cable news network, began broadcasting on June 1st. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? This was after the Paleozoic period, and the dinosaurs were extinct by then. So I'm getting there. There was a severe summer heat wave in southern U.S. that caused 1,117 deaths in 20 states. The yearly inflation rate was 13.58%. The Dow Jones closed the year at 963 points. The year-end Federal Reserve interest rate was 21.5%. Does that bring back some memories? Maybe not such good ones, right? Anybody know what the cost of a gallon of gas was back then? 50 cents? Well, that's a little bit earlier than that. But the average in 1980 was $1.19 per gallon. A pound of ground beef cost $1.39. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head cost $4.77. A brand new Ford F-150 truck cost $7,595 and had an EPA rating of 19 miles per gallon. There was no internet. There were no cell phones, no email. Paul started with a shade tree and an outhouse. But no, on a more serious note, during his time here, Paul moved the bean and beet farm about 30 miles east of where it originated from. He took a farmstead that had a couple of outbuildings and turned it into a world-class research facility. He improved the land with drainage, installed grass alleys to create blocks of research land, built a storage barn and new shop. He bought an adjacent farm and brought in a new crop into the farm, wheat. He partnered with industry and brought funding to build the building or to build the facility that we are in here today, and we now call this place the Saginaw Valley Research and Extension Center. Paul is a master at identifying needs, finding resources, and bringing the right people together to accomplish the mission of ag bio research. It was his vision that helped to make this place a flagship research station in Michigan. This place is his pride and joy. The driveways are always manicured, the lawn is always mowed, weeds are always controlled, equipment's always put away or lined up outside. Paul is a carpenter, a mechanic, a gardener, a tractor driver, a guy that gets the job done. He has worked with countless numbers of researchers, technicians, graduate students over the years. And in his retirement, Paul plans to deplete our lakes and rivers of fish. And he plans to do a little bit of hunting. He also has a great family and some grandkids that he plans to spend some time with. And I'm just proud to call Paul a friend, and I certainly wish him the best in retirement. So on behalf of the Michigan wheat growers, I would like to present you with a small token of our appreciation. Jody, you want to come up?
And you always get the wheat planted on time.
So I just wanted to read this as we present this to Paul. So this says we want to... The Michigan wheat... Yeah, we spelled his name right. Good. The Michigan wheat farmers, through the Michigan Wheat Program, want to thank Paul Horny for his outstanding service, leadership, and dedication to the Michigan wheat industry, presented on this day, February 22nd, 2023. Paul, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Do you want to say anything?
No, I better not. No, actually, but yeah, back then, I mean, it was amazing because I still remember, thought this was a great job because I got $10 an hour back then. And that's what we started at. When I was a student, we were getting paid $1.25 to make a living. And that's back when credit hours were $15 a credit hour for education back then. So it's been a long time. But I really appreciate all we've done. And one thing I've learned with these industries, an industry like you, if they don't do research, they will never succeed. Always invest in what you do. It will always pay you dividends down the road. That's the important part. I've seen a lot of these industries, and that's the one thing that's made them very important, is always invest in, keep reinvesting in yourself, and always keep moving forward. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul. So Paul officially retires on Yep. And so he officially retires on March 2nd, but I'm told he moved out of his office over a month ago. And he figures there's nothing they can do about it because he is on his way out. But we'd have hired his replacement, the next person to be the farm manager here at the Saginaw Valley Research and Extension Center, and that is Tom Wenzel. Tom may be familiar to a lot of you. He's been involved with Extension for over 15 years. Come on up, Tom. We'll get you front and center on the wheat growers here. He worked with the Sugar Beet Advancement Program for those last 15 years, so he's worked with Daniel Bublitz most recently, and then worked with Steve Poindexter, if you remember him, before that. So he's no stranger to hard work. He's got a lot of good ideas here, and he's going to carry the torch here for the Saginaw Valley Research and Extension Center. So welcome, Tom. All right, and I'll turn it back to Jeff to get us kicked off and started.
Okay, moving along here. We will take a break this morning, and then we'll also have one at lunchtime. Please make sure to visit our exhibitors and thank them for their support of the wheat industry by purchasing at their booth space. Also, please remember these folks in the future when you have purchases to make. It is important to remember those companies that support our industry. Due to the weather, many of them will be leaving after lunch. So if you want to talk with them, make sure you do it prior to the end of lunch. Food will be left out throughout the morning in the back there. So feel free to get up, refill during the morning's presentations. When you need the bathrooms, they're out across the hall through the doors over there. If you have any questions or need anything, do not hesitate to find someone, either staff or badge introduced. And we're going to have, they have purple name tags, which is Deb Merrill, Monica Jean, Jenna Fowler, Connie Mosner, and Dennis Pennington, you've met already, and then Jody. Everybody knows Jody. So if it were not for the Michigan Wheat Board members, we would not be here today. I'd like to take some time to introduce my fellow board members, and would you please stand when I call your name? Our vice chairman is Brent Wagner, representing District 8 from Grand, Michigan. Our treasurer is Tony Bohack, representing District 6 from Owasso, Michigan. Lynn Uphouse, representing District 2 from Manchester, Michigan, is our secretary. I'm not sure Lynn is here. And other board members are Jason Dunning, representing District 1 of Fremont, Michigan. I don't see Jason here. Carl Wagner III, he's here, representing District 4 from Tecumseh, Michigan. And not in attendance today is Sally McConaughey, representing District 5 from Deckerville, Michigan, and Brad Campreth, representing District 3 from Ida, Michigan. Our industry representatives is Jim Doyle from King Milling from Lowell, Michigan, and Jim is not here today. Also not here today is our ex officio member is Dave Milligan from Cass City, Michigan. He's actually on a trip heading to Ireland, I believe. So he's not even in the States. So let's all give our board members a big round of applause. Thank you. So most importantly in attendance today is you growers. I would also like to thank this opportunity to recognize those of you who have participated in the National Association of Wheat Growers and the National Wheat Foundation Yield Contest winners. Will those of you who have participated in the National Wheat Yield Contest in the last, let's say, 5 years, raise your hand? Yeah, we got a few guys out here. If you would like to participate this year, please check out the postcard at the wheat handout table, as registrations are due for the winter wheat this spring by May 15th. So as you come in, there is a table in there that the Michigan Wheat Program has all kinds of information on how to grow wheat and plots and stuff, and there's also registration there for the National Wheat Yield Contest. Next, I'd like to also take this opportunity to recognize those of you who have been MEAP verified in the last year and have received a monetary award from the Michigan Wheat Program. Has anyone in here been verified by the MEAP program in the last year? Yep, we have a few farmers. And how many guys have been MEAP verified ever in the last 10 years? Yeah, lots of hands. We have lots of MEAP verified farms in Michigan. We would also like to welcome Jamie Roberts, who is here on behalf of the MEAP and has worked with Jody to get this meeting qualified as a Phase 1 meeting. Jamie has a table out front by the registration, so please stop and sign up if you need this meeting to count as a Phase 1 meeting for your farm. Now on a sad note, let's please remember those involved in the MSU incident last week. Let's observe a moment of silence for these victims and their families. Okay, thank you. Now on to the program that we've worked very hard to develop for our growers.